Tuesday, January 12th. There is the closing bell, guys, with the S&Ps finishing the day up about 2 points. Stocks spent the latter part of the day trying to get even. Will the weakness continue into tomorrow? Let's dive right in, break this market down, and then go over the top stocks of the day. We look at the overnight session and we had a range of about 20 points. We put in a high about 1805. However, in the real trading hours, we could not reach 3805 and we rolled going into lunch. However, we found a bottom and we trended higher into the closing bell. Will this trend continue into tomorrow? Let's cruise on over to the Nasdaq and see how technology did today. We can see today that the Nasdaq is putting a consecutive red day here. Down about 0.12%, it was our worst performing index on the day. Now, when we compare it to our Big Five, however, we can see the Big Five was down about 0.25% on the day. So it is lagging our Nasdaq and is giving the S&P a little bit of stress, seeing we're only up about 2 points, closing at 3801. We have to watch what the Big Five does here because ultimately, these companies based off of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Facebook, they could set the tone if they all want to roll over. Technology is a very heavily weighted sector in this marketplace. However, we do have Tesla today, and Tesla was up over 4.5% at 4.72. Yesterday, I talked about it on the expected move. We bounced off of that 800 level, and we are trending higher. Can Tesla break the midline and go higher? It will be something to look forward to tomorrow, but Tesla itself is now a big company. It has a sizable weight as well, and Tesla did a good job at holding the Nasdaq up today as well as the S&P. Let's move on over to the small caps and see how they performed today. Again, the Russell is our leading index on the day today, up 1.6%, and it put a new all-time high in. The Russell is showing no signs of slowing down. When we take a closer look at some of our sectors, the XLE is breaking out here, up almost 3.5% today. The XLE has broken out of its cup that it's performing. So we'll see if it can trend higher. The next level is around $47. We'll see if XLE can continue the uptrend. However, we also got a lot of help today from the financials, and the financials have put a new all-time high today in at 31.49, closing around the high that we put in back in February. This is very interesting to watch, and these are two sectors that got banged up last year, and they are on fire so far in 2021. What else is up? Well, software had a decent day, and this is helping the Russell a lot as well, up 0.75%. Now we look what was down. Well, technology was down about 0.5%, but overall bigger picture, it's still in a nice range of consolidation. We look at the utilities down 0.5%, not looking the strongest, and healthcare down over 1%. What was our worst performing sector today? Well, that was the communication sector, down over 1.5% and going the wrong way, and that's a sizable dump in volume here in this sector. This isn't a too big of a concern as the communication sector isn't that large. However, it is interesting to watch. So with energy and financials on fire, how did our advanced decline line shape up today? And we see today we're getting 55 advancing and 46 declining. So we're getting a lot of help from energy, a lot of help from financials. However, we're feeling some weight from technology, utilities, healthcare. They're putting some drag, and ultimately this AD line is looking very similar to about the sectors across the board. It's about 50-50 for the most part. Let's move on over to the bonds and see if they can turn it around. We take a look at the bonds, and they are down on the day, down about 0.05%. However, it is trying to put in a bottom here. Could be a temporary bottom for a long overdue bounce. When we take a closer look at it, it saw a nice little rally after lunchtime. Can this continue into tomorrow? I'm not sure. However, when we look at the TNX is pulling back ever so slightly, but it is up on the day 0.5%. You can see TNX kind of faded into the close. However, what do you expect? It's not going to go straight up. This isn't Bitcoin here. These are bonds, and seeing a down day isn't much of a concern, and this is something that we're going to have to watch going forward. Let's move on over to the VIX and see how volatility traded today. And we can see today that the VIX futures were down over 4%. Now, this is the January contract, and we're rolling here in about 8 days. So to get a better read on volatility, we want to look at the VVIX, and we can see the VVIX was down about 2.5%. We look at it on an intraday, and you can see we saw the pop into lunch. However, we faded back down. holding around this 115 level. This will be interesting to watch going into tomorrow's trade. Will volatility compress and keep coming down? If so, that could give equities the green light for a full broad-based rally. But let's browse the US dollar and see how our commodities did today. Taking a look at the dollar index, we are down today almost 0.5%. We're just hovering above that 90 handle, and it's heading down. What do you expect? I don't expect this dollar to keep going up, especially with the amount of fiscal stimulus that we're going to be seeing this year. Now, what happened to our commodities? Well, we saw crude oil up today nicely, up 1.74%, helping the energy sector and continuing its trend higher. This is something to look at going forward. When we compare to gold, we can see gold was up $5 today. With a down dollar, I'd expect the metals to get more of it back today after getting whacked last week. However, it's just slightly hanging in there. And silver up about 1.5%. It's a little more speculative than gold. But again, with a down dollar, I would like to see the metals up a little bit more, but the volume just quite isn't there. And last but not least, we have Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is up ever so slightly, around 2%, sitting at 34.5K in the futures. Trying to put in a floor here, Bitcoin, it ran a lot, so I expect Bitcoin to cool off and consolidate for a bit. I didn't get my BTC in 3 up today, but expect it tomorrow. I promise you guys that. There you have it for the stock market breakdown. Now, it was another quiet day for the most part outside of the Russell and energy stocks. Keep your eyes on the VIX, and if it can continue its downtrend into tomorrow, and ultimately see if technology wants to start rallying. If tech gets going with the energy sector and financials, we're going to see a very big day if you're a bull. Other than that, let's move on and take a look at the top stocks of the day. So we go over to the scan tab, we hit scan, and we have a list of 18 today. Coming in at the number 3 stock of the day goes to Etsy Inc. Today, Etsy was up over 12% with a market cap of $25.8 billion. Etsy is a pretty big company. Now, well, what does Etsy do? Etsy provides a marketplace for crafters, artists, and collectors to sell their handmade creations and vintage goods. Now, why are we moving higher today in Etsy? Taking a look at it on an intraday, it saw a beautiful pop out the gates, and from reading the news, it is moving higher from data showing a 50% year-over-year increase in digital spending over the 2020 holiday season. So a lot of people spent good money on Etsy for the holidays, which means Etsy could be in for a stellar earnings report in later February. And I take a look at the trade tab, it is also hard to borrow, so it also is getting short squeezed. All those traders that were trying to short Etsy are being punished today, as this is sizable volume coming into this stock. Now, when I take a look at it on the expected move, we came into this week expecting $8.29. A 3 standard deviation move puts us at around 252. So this is over a 3 sig move on the week. What makes the most sense for this stock to cool off a bit, maybe touch that 200 level, a nice psychological round number before going higher. However, there's a lot of shorts in this stock. It's hard to borrow. So it could potentially keep squeezing higher. Keep your eyes on that, but Etsy could be a hot stock in the near term. Coming in at the number 2 stock of the day goes to FuelCell Energy. Today, FuelCell Energy was up over 20% with the market cap of $6.1 billion. On a year to date, FuelCell is up 79%. So it's starting 2021 off very hot, and I don't see this stock slowing down. Now, what does FuelCell do? They cleanly and efficiently convert chemical energy from hydrogen-rich fuels into electrical power and high-quality heat. Now, why is it trading higher today? Well, there was some unusual activities in the options market. However, this stock is moving higher off of plugs news, which we will get to in a second. Now, we take a look at the expected move, and FuelCell coming into this week was expecting $2.09. So, 1950 would put us at a 2 standard deviation move. We're sitting at 1905. It's kind of in the middle of a 2 and a 1 standard deviation. However, with momentum, I think we can easily hit 1950 this week. This is a sector that's going to be hot. Renewable energy stocks are the play this year. However, if it does slow down a bit, look for 1741 to give it a very solid support to bounce and go higher. Coming in at the number one stock of the day goes to Plug Power Inc. Plug Power today was up 22% with a market cap of $30.9 billion. This is a company that continues to grow and at a very fast rate. We take a look at it on a year to date, it's already up 105% on the year. This stock was amazing last year and it's picking up where it left off. Just look at the sizable volume in this stock. It's absolutely insane. Now, for those who don't know what Plug does, Plug provides hydrogen fuel cell systems that uses hydrogen to produce electricity without combustion. You guys should know this by now. This stock has made number one multiple times. Now, why are they up today? Well, I am reading they have a new 50-50 joint venture to put Plug fuel cells in Renault commercial vans in Europe. So all fuel cells, for that matter, are trending just nicely, as if you take a look at FuelCell, that was up a lot. Now, you look at the trade tab on Plug, it is hard to borrow, so it continues to punish any short that wants to come in here. This is just an aggressive move higher, and ultimately, this stock can keep trending higher. When we take a look at it on an expected move, we came into this week with a $5.85 move. Now, a 2 standard deviation move puts us at 65.48, which we're 50 cents above that level. It could give it some slowdown. We could kind of rest at 65.50 level. However, I don't want to bet against this stock. I don't want to get in the way of shorting this stock. It makes sense to cool off, but if it's a hot stock, I think it can continue trending higher. There you have it for the top stocks of the day. Did you get a chance to watch any of these stocks? If not, comment a ticker down below that you're looking at going into tomorrow. And if you've watched this far, I really appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up. It means a lot to me when you guys show some support. And if you're watching me for the very first time, I do these every single day. Show some love and hit that subscribe button. It will really make my day as well. Other than that, have any comments, questions, feedback, leave it down below and I'll get back to you. Other than that, have a great night. Take care. Peace.